York to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Look, man, it's Ebro in the Morning. No Laura Stiles. She handling things as a mama now. Baby time. Young Baby Light's running things. We got Rosenberg here, and our brother Salaam Remi, the super producer. The legend has stepped in the room. Salaam, what's up, broski?
Peace. Just out here trying to maintain, doing the right thing as always.
Yo, you got a new project out, Black on Purpose, with everything that's been going on, COVID, affecting, black and brown people as much as it had, all the white supremacy that has been unleashed due to the last president we had, Donald Trump. Is that what propelled you to really lean in on this kind of uplifting moment for black music, black folks, and just kind of and even just make a statement like this?
I think it's just kind of like it's progressed to get there. Going to the top of the year, it was definitely, back to March, between March and May, for me, the village was hit. It was like I was sending condolences back to the tri-state area almost every day, between March and May, and really feeling it for my people. I'm not in New York, but I definitely, wasn't my immediate family, but that was there. And then Ahmaud Arbery situation kind of was hitting me. And I was like, okay, that's another thing. And then by the time we got past Mother's Day, where we lost Andre Harrell, Little Richard, and Betty Wright that weekend, I was like, all right, refresh. And then Memorial Day with the George Floyd situation, it got back at me again. I was like, wow, and even though I'm in a situation where, I'm in the crib, I'm in Florida, the COVID hasn't actually attacked me. It can't get to me where I'm positioned, or, the racism can't necessarily get to me in my direct space. I still felt it for everyone else who it was affecting. And for me, that was beyond physical warfare. That was a mental warfare that actually affected me and how I thought. And my process being for the last few years, definitely everything that I do is do it for culture and doing it for my people. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the Black on Purpose was already something I said, the Black on Black thought earlier in the pandemic, but I was like, that's what it is. This is what this creation is. And rather than me, just coming out with a statement, I recorded a couple of things I was going to post online and just say, this is how I feel about the current situation. I said, let me speak with my strongest voice, which is music.
How did you get Super Cat on a new rhythm?
Super Cat.
How did that? How do you find him? You don't have to tell us how it is to find him, but how do you find him? Is it just he's a phone call away? Because this guy's very reclusive.
Yeah, over the years, Cat always kept in touch with me. I get a call every couple of years, and I spoke to him a few times over the last few years. But last November, I actually went down to Jamaica and I participated in the Red Bull Culture Clash, and I won with my team. Do it for the culture. So I went to see him to get some dub plates for the Culture Clash.
Oh.
And, he said he don't even like doing dub plates. He doesn't do them. But because it was me and because I was our history, and, when I did Ghetto Red Hot with Condas and South Central and other mixes for him on my own, we always had a camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? Like he always respected me even as a young youth, and he saw me come up. So he's just like, yo, so anything with me and you, never miss. It always hit. So, I started talking to him about it. And it took me ultimately from last year into this year to really get it done. Because, he's methodical and he's really, Cat don't like, he ain't petting people. He ain't with a whole lot of rah-rah. But I guess I was patient enough and able to speak the language that he wanted to speak in order to get it done. And that's what it was. And I think it's a great moment. And, he got some other stuff coming too.
So wait, we're going to get more Super Cat?
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
What do you mean? Is there an album of some sort?
He's recording, put like that.
Got it.
And,
Okay.
Cat doesn't always record, but Cat's definitely recording.
Yo, because we've been burning that joint down, B. I got my hands. That was one of the first projects, or maybe the second song you put out off of this thing?
The second or third, yes.
And y'all shot a video, too.
Shot a video too. Cat's thing was, we started actually a version of the song, and then when he saw the George Floyd thing happening, he's like, yo, people protesting everywhere. He's like, yo, we always got to stand with the people, so no matter what. So then he went back and changed up his verses and kind of made it also fit to what I was on. Because I was like, yo, Cat, we can't just be out here on a party. in the middle of what we're going through as the people. He's like, yo, you're right. We're with the people. So that's why he was excited to also be a part of anything that's for the people, because he's the people's DJ. He ain't with the, the hypeness and foolishness at all.
Nah, that's dope. We're gonna play that joint coming up. Y'all make sure y'all go get this Black on Purpose, courtesy of Salaam. Salaam, take us back to Fugees remixes real quick. And
Okay.
I think the first remix you did for the Fugees was what? Vocab?
Nappy heads.
Nappy Heads.
Mona Lisa.
That Mona Lisa.
You know, the reason that the Fugees are a gigantic icon instead of a one album disappearing act?
Would you say that, Salaam?
I mean, he can't say it.
I wouldn't say it like that. My perspective is that I've been blessed to come in contact with generational talent, and I was able to help them unlock what they knew already.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was able to help them put them in a position where everything that Lauryn Hill, Wyclef, and Pras put together as that group, that gave room for the Black Eyed Peas. Wyclef gave room for Akon, T-Pain, will.i.am. Lauryn Hill influenced the singers before her and after her. Everybody has actually been influenced by it. So I feel like I was able to just help them at a point where maybe their investors, their label didn't have the same faith in them, help them get a couple of building blocks. And I was just showing them what about their talent actually resonated with people. And that started with the city, and then it started with the tri-state, and then it kind of expanded to the world. But ultimately, Chiba Chiba Y'all, I'm a Libra Y'all, that's like straight New York, Hot 97. You know what I'm saying? That's where it started. The play was at home.
Right. Now, the reason I bring that up is because I wanted to, I was bringing that up because we were just talking about Supercat, and you produced Ghetto Red Hot with Supercat, and did that.
I remixed it with Bobby Condas. Yep.
Yeah, remixed it. Shout out to Condas. But anyway, you've been a part of these kind of monumental moments for a lot of artists that, like you said, unlock their potential. And you kept relationships, because even you've done some recent Lauryn Hill music too that, wasn't a part of a soundtrack or something in the last couple of years.
I actually didn't do that. That was a song that she had for a long time. I've heard it, but I actually didn't produce anything with her in a really long time. But I still keep in contact with her. We still
so y'all
speak,
talk.
Yeah, definitely. I think I probably haven't had her since her birthday, but yeah, we talk.
Do you see yourself working with somebody like a Lauryn Hill in the future? If that call came in, is that something that a Salaam Remi? Are you at that stage of your career right now?
Possibly. I mean, the stage I am in my career and my life is it's principles over profits. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to in general. So I'm no longer at a point where I'm working for a dollar advance or this or that and the third. It's strictly if the vibe is right, if the people are right, and if it's somebody that I have a relationship with that I've worked with for whatever amount of time. If they call on me and they say they need something, I lay it out, I get it back to them, because that's really where we are. It's a community share, you know what I'm saying, as far as where I am with my friends. And the relationships that I have with Supercat, the relationship I have with Lauryn Hill, is you can't put a dollar amount on that. You know what I'm saying? This is about us always doing that. So definitely if, Miss Lauryn Hill calls me at any point and says I need this, that, and the third, if I can make it happen, I'll definitely make it happen for her.
Do you this project, the Black on Purpose, which is available, also Streams of Thought with Black Thought. What you also, like you said, you've been putting out these joints for the culture. I've heard you talk a lot about about being independent. You put out a jazz project with Terrace Martin.
Yep.
You now have entered a space, as you just mentioned, where you're not really you're not looking for a record deal. You're not playing those kind of games anymore. For artists out there that are looking at the industry and thinking about getting into the industry, is there any advice from a veteran like yourself that has kind of navigated this business, not only as a creative, but even as an executive, as, both inside and outside? Where are things at for the artist that's trying to get in the game right now?
Well, the biggest thing that we have now that wasn't there 30-something years when I was getting into it is the internet. You know what I'm saying? We have the internet as a tool to be able to measure your audience, to create your audience, and to build that. Something that if you're assigned to a label that has on a fiscal schedule, by every March, by every end of the year. They want to know how much money did you make, how much am I giving you, and they're still, Ponzi scheming you ultimately to be able to get you to give your stuff in and sell your rights to them so that they can sell it back to you at a lower rate just for some cash. You're in a position where now you can actually build yourself a lot more and have an audience for you that's going to go before and after your label deal if you were to do one. You know what I'm saying? Like the biggest thing that I see now is if I knew what I knew now in the 90s, every artist that didn't have a situation, I would have went to the street with it and we would have built it up. You know what I'm saying? Independently. But it was also a different day where you had to have a certain level of studio to record. Right. I mean, you needed budget. You had to have pressing, and then you had to have distribution. Even if you pressed all the records, how were you going to get to the stores? How were the stores going to trust you? How were you going to build that out? So many of those things were not possible back then. And I just think that at this point, any artist has an opportunity to create, thousands of dollars a month for themselves online. At this point, even as a musician, you're competing with people that just talk for a living. There's a dude that reviews your albums on YouTube that's getting more money per month than you're going to get for actually putting this whole produced video out.
Wow, now
he'll
that's
just be
crazy to think
reviewing your
about.
albums. So he'll just be like, he'll talk for 2 hours and say that's what it is. No, I mentioned before, it's like yappers and rappers. Like, a 3-hour podcast is like the equivalent of 6 current albums. So that person is actually getting more money for talking about your album than you got for making it. But then also I look at it like, once the talk is done, it comes down to...
And it's something that me and Rosenberg always talk about, right? Like Rosenberg's got a lot of podcasts, and I've never really been a big fan of podcasts just because I want to play the song and talk about the song, right? Like I want people to actually hear it. But I've always...
Juan Epps was one of the first ones, right?
Juan Epps is the first hip-hop podcast.
Juan Epps was one of the first hip-hop podcasts, from what I remember, that would talk about things off the beaten path, which made them create an audience. You know what I'm saying? That you're just like, oh, wow, I do remember Jungle Brothers. I want to talk about that. So it's definitely something there. I just say the songs last longer than your feelings, though. The podcast.
That's the thing. I mean, truthfully, the thing that's bugged out to me about what you just said is that one of the things that, like, my ego doesn't like about what my career is that I'm on the radio all the time, but radio is something that's fleeting. What you do is gone. You do it in the moment. It's entertaining in that moment. It feels amazing, but it's not forever. Music is forever. So it's funny to me that you're saying you could make a forever project and the person who just simply spouts off their feelings on it in 45 minutes could make more money for just a random, stream of consciousness conversation than what you could get for this album that should live forever.
And it will. And that's the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's understanding what's current currency and understanding what's currency in the long term. And being that I've been blessed to be around long enough that, my records from the 90s still pay my bills today. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't have to worry about what's going on now. Here comes a Hot Stepper, Fugees. I got enough stuff that's from the 90s that literally give me enough money to pay a mortgage today. You know what I'm saying? Per month. So at the end of the day, you do have to make great quality music. So that was the other side for the new artists. Yes, there's an opportunity for you to be getting all this attention. But where's the quality in that 2 or 3 minutes worth of audio that actually changes your mood? That's kind of like what my IG is about. I post songs because it's 30 seconds that can change your mood, change your feeling, change your thought process.
One of my favorite IGs. I steal from you often.
You know what I'm saying?
I steal from you often,
it is.
Sir.
And it's here for the community. You know what I'm saying? Because it's ultimately me reminding myself and me reminding everybody around me, there's 30 seconds that come on and then you go, whoa, I just felt like a kid again. Whoa, I just feel this music. That's what happened when we made those great records. You know what I'm saying? There was so much of a capture. So much stuff now just sounds exactly the same that you really got to pick your moment. Not that somebody isn't still getting that feeling. It's just, it's the art. You know what I'm saying? And that's for me where I'm still the artist. And I guess at this point, I'm living as an artist more than I'm living as a entrepreneur in certain ways. But at the end of the day, I'm clear that the entrepreneurship goes in ownership for the last thing. You know what I'm saying? We're planting seeds.
If you're wondering, well, I got a couple things we probably need to do. We need to have a Salaam Remi Appreciation Day. That needs to happen. We were just talking about the Fugees and Supercat.
Right.
We should be talking, obviously, about the other things you've done, the Aini Kamosi, clearly. the Bush Babies, Brand Nubian, Shaba,
Hold on, remix.
Patra, Channel Live. What else is in here? Then when you start stepping out in the late 90s, you start getting into the Groove Collectives and Jamiroquai's and Tony Braxton's. You were like the remix.
Why'd you skip over Black Sheep Without a Doubt, Salaam? What's going on?
Sorry. I went right by. Yo, Naughty by Nature.
Craziest remix, yeah.
Yo, Born Jamaicans.
Don't ever forget Boom
Don't
Shaka
ever
Talk.
forget the Boom Shaka Talk. But he did Send My Love. Yeah, he did Send My Love. Man. Then you got the Wyclef joints. My Love Is Your Love, Whitney Houston.
Well, you did the original version.
No, I did the remix of My Love Is Your Love.
The Wyclef one?
Wyclef did the original, but I did a remix of it.
Got it. Okay. What a beautiful song.
And then obviously Nas. Bruh, the discography is crazy.
It's a lot.
I mean, I'm happy I could still contribute at this point. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the cat's still pushing 50. I've been around a long time. But, you know, the fact that I come through and chill, which is something I did as a jewel for the culture, could still be a platinum record and single for Miguel and get Grammy now.
Yeah, that was crazy. I come through and chill and get its love that it should have.
And it still does, though. It's like a blanket for some people. You know, it's getting cold outside. They be back to it.
Yo,
stream numbers are up.
Yo, made you look publishing. How those checks look?
Made You Look is nice. It's always in some basketball games or some video games.
Not to mention Laura Stiles is always talking about it. So Laura Stiles alone keeps your money up with her constant referencing of Made You Look.
Exactly.
Yo, exactly. and then the early Amy Winehouse, first album Amy Winehouse, and second album Amy Winehouse, R.I.P. Amy Winehouse. Have you ever been approached to do a versus?
Nah. People say stuff all the time, but
so Swizz has never been like, yo, like who? I don't even know what's the matchup here.
I don't
Rosenberg?
see it. I don't see one. That's why I don't really see one I want to do.
I don't see it. I don't see it either.
See it.
Like who the fit
The only
is?
way to make it work is if it was like a Wyclef or something like that.
I was gonna say Wyclef.
I was gonna say Wyclef or Jerry.
But I don't gonna be like, yo, the father and the son. And he's gonna keep talking about.
I don't like Wyclef.
And it's only because it spans.
Wyclef will pull out the guitar and perform. It's kind of a different.
Yeah, but Salaam will pull out the bass and the drums.
Yeah, but it's not the same as when Wyclef starts telling stories about running for president, and he'll take you a different way. I think. I don't think it ends up being an even matchup because Wyclef will become a storyteller, and I think the matchup for you has to be a music maker versus music maker. Wyclef is a music maker, but he's also a storyteller.
Honestly, it's just still the span genre for genre. I don't really see the length of years and the genre spanning. Like it's just different. Like for me, if I said I'm doing R&B, I'm talking about Jasmine Sullivan, Lions, Tigers, and Bears, and then I turn around with Made You Look. That's hard as hell.
That's the thing. So
like, where's that?
I
don't see that balance. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Pharrell does it in a way, but it's not the same.
You would almost need multiple battles. You would need multiple battles for where you were in different times.
And that's why I'm not with it at the core of it. I'm not into it. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's hard enough for me to compete with myself. I have no reason to make more records unless they as good as the other one.
Talk your shit. Yo, I knew I could get him out. I knew if I just left a little carrot for him, he start talking that shit. Because people, Salaam
I'm just
don't
saying,
talk.
like, I'm there. Yeah, I'm just saying, like realistically, there's nothing for me to do but to compete with myself at this point. If I'm gonna make any more records after making records since 1986, they better be good or go home. And honestly, Black on Purpose for me, if I never make another record, I'm good because this is something that I had to talk about. This album from top to bottom. This is the first time that I've made a record about my emotions. I always make records about the artists and their feelings. They did something. How you feeling today? Okay, I'm gonna put music to that. This is the first time that I made an album with a tear in my eye. And I utilized everyone else's voices to complete the story of what I wanted to get across. Which is simply, there's nothing that is going to change and move forward except for us helping each other. This is humanity. You know what I'm saying? This is about humanity and moving things forward, but it's also understanding that if you do something to one person. It's like me saying I'm in Miami, so whatever happened in New York, that ain't it. One of the things that hit me during the COVID space was that, I have a sister that lives in Newark, and she has some health issues, some underlying health issues. And she was at a hospital. My dad called me like, yo, I don't know, they ain't seeing her, and she's at the hospital, she's doing stuff. So I'm talking to her, and I was sitting there going, dag, and I'm sitting there going, how can I? Well, I knew somebody that knew somebody that was able to call high up people and get somebody at the hospital to go see her and make sure that she was tested or deal with her. And I sat there and thought about it. I'm like, I'm all the way in Miami, and I didn't even know I could call somebody in Newark to get her seen at the hospital. This is just in my mind. I'm saying, wow, that's powerful that I was able to do that. But also, I said, what about for all the people who can't do that? How many people are now going through something? That's why songs like Going Up Yonder on my album, because we're dealing with mass grief and not being able to deal with it. We're dealing with situations. I wanted to put up an album after the election because, yes, we needed to vote to get the outward hatred out. But in my neighborhood, there's nothing but Trump signs. So just because y'all folded them up, I still see you. So now I'm black every day. I'm black on purpose. This is constant. You know what I'm saying? Hey, every year get your thing out by Juneteenth. They're going to be nice to people on Juneteenth. What y'all giving out? Government cheese? I don't even eat cheese. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the constant in everything that I'm doing is like, you know what? If I can help somebody, who's going to help somebody, and this is going to continue to move forward. This is about making music that's going to help heal. This is about helping people who might not know how to find their voice. A lot of the artists I was speaking to couldn't find their voice. Certain artists I spoke to, it's like, I don't even know what to say. I feel so crazy right now. How am I going to deal with this? I don't know how to talk to my kids. Like, how am I coming out in the middle of this pandemic, racism issues? And now we're still in a position where, a lot of things, now the cat's out the bag. Now I see who you are. You see who I am. It might not be as hostile as it was with the Trump situation, but
It's
it's
right, but
still
it's all
right here.
out.
Like,
Well, it's unpacked too. The milk is out
it's
the
a
udder. The
1,000%.
toothpaste is out the tube. You
It's
know
hard
what
to
I
go
mean?
back.
Like you can't put
And
it back.
it's just like that. And so it's just about doing the honorable thing, which is making sure your people are good. It's like a dude who lives in a big house and he didn't make sure everybody else is taken care of. Not that you could take care of every single person, but your intent has to be like, you know what? Make sure the village is good. You know what I'm saying? That you got to be for the people and not about that. I might have $1,000,000, but I like dollar beef patties, like Hillside style, Q4 style.
Black on Purpose opens with Malcolm X. You close with audio of Sandra Bland. In between there, you have Stephen Marley, Nas, Supercat, Chronics, Black Thoughts on several records, Betty Wright, and Betty Wright. With Betty Wright's passing this year, I did not realize until we had a conversation on Apple Music that you and her had established a very close relationship down in Miami.
Definitely. I mean, Betty Wright is like, the Miami mother of music. You know what I'm saying? She's been an artist since she was a teenager here or even younger. And anything you can call Miss B and say, this is what it is. When we were trying to shoot a video for the Say It Loud with CeeLo that I did on the album during Super Bowl, she was out and trying to help me. You know what? The band just played for Beyonce. They over here and trying to make things happen. And I didn't even know she was sick to that level. You know what I'm saying? And, she's somebody who, anything that happens, hey, you need kids for a video, we need a girl to do this. I call up like, hey, anybody could do backgrounds like this? She's like, let me see it. She'd be up there singing, doing whatever it was. Miss B was like the Miami mother of music, not just for me, but anything happened in Miami, those moving. She's like, oh, you know who that is? I know that boy mother. I'm gonna just tell you what's what. Like, she was the mother for
Wow,
the
I didn't
city.
realize
When I
that.
moved here, when my mom passed, it was, the first thing we had worked on was Josh Stone's first project. And, just her being somebody that I know I could look to that could say, hey, what you think about that? She didn't trust everybody, but she trusted me musically to see what it was. And she really was on me since we had done a version of Strange Fruit last year for the Grass is Greener soundtrack. She was like, let's do something with it, whatever it was. And then when she passed, it just ripped my heart out. She passed on Mother's Day. My mom passed on my birthday. I was born on Mother's Day. It was just like a lot. My grandmothers both passed around that time. So I was already in the emotional state. I had to find a way to honor what she had asked me to do, which was find a way to make sure that that performance went even deeper. Because when she sang "Strange Fruit," she had a son that died by gun violence, and she was channeling her loss as a mother, with her son in that vocal performance as well.
Y'all go pick up this Black on Purpose, courtesy of our brother Salaam. Salaam, thank you for your time today. I
Thank
wanna
you.
I wanna I want to get Tidra Moses a shout out on here because she doesn't come outside a lot. She's on the album too. What should we hit the people with right now? You want to play? You want to play that Super Cat for them? You want to play that Yonder with Nas and Jennifer Hudson?
Yeah, you know what? I ain't a little sanctified right now. Yeah, take that Yonder. Nas and Jennifer Hudson. Nas talking about how he grew up in New York and where it's going, so it fits the times and it fits the space.
There it is. Salaam Remi, thank you, brother. Love you.
Love you, bro.
All right,
man.
take care,
Peace.
Salaam.
Black on Purpose right now. Go pick it up.